What do Meshtastic people call themselves? Because if you don't have a name for it, I've got a thought.
You know, I don't know. I've never. Come on, Joe. Lay it
I
on me.
I
I gotta know.
I would like to pitch mesh enthusiasts.
Ooh, oh, nice, mesh enthusiasts.
I think we'll head on over to number 3 first.
Let's do it.
How do I?
And this is how do I get started with Meshtastic?
Oh,
You've been telling me all about this Meshtastic, and I've only scratched the surface of what it is. So tell me about Meshtastic and how a person would get started with it.
all right. So first, you're gonna have to know what it is. So the quickest, the easiest, and simplest, I guess, way to explain it is, and Joe, you've talked about it, CB radio, right? Um, this is almost like the CB radio of the 70s and 80s and so forth, where you could get as, go buy this radio. I could just push the handle and suddenly I can talk to somebody, change the channel, talk to somebody else. And I think it kind of tickles a social aspect of us, that curiosity that how does this work? It's something new, right? What this is sort of an extension of, we've all now have Wi-Fi. Everyone can talk to everyone. I got a cell phone. You got a cell phone. Joe, I can send you a text. You'll get it. But people who do, they're still CB operators. And what this is more like radio, but think of it as you've got a radio, I've got a radio, someone else, but you and I aren't close enough to each other. But I can send you a text, and that person who's in between can essentially relay it to you. And maybe you could relay it on to Charles, who's farther on. And it is it's very decentralized. Literally anybody can out of the box get it going. A few little settings changes and it's working. It's not like you and I have to call up each other, give each other codes or, exchange a lot of information. It does a lot of self discovery, thus the mesh part of it,
Okay.
which is kind of neat about it. And, there's a lot of people like, well, why are you doing it? And it's like, well, kind of curious. You'll get the people who, the chemtrail people who say, well, when the cell phones go down, I'll be able to communicate with all my friends. Okay, yeah, kind of true, but really, it's well, at my work, for example, the guys that got me in, we were kind of wanting to play around with it a little bit for that reason, kind of like, hey, because we always do these disaster recovery things. What if we lose this? What if we lose that? How would we communicate or how would we do that? And so we kind of looked at it as a possible way of doing it. Really,
Now, and it's text based, right?
it's all text based, so there's no voice in it, no video. But although it does support emojis or emoticons, I guess you'd say,
Okay.
which is so it is. I think it's just Unicode, which is kind of makes it very flexible.
Okay. Now, you talked about how it could relay between people that are on in the mesh,
Yeah.
so to speak. Does that require a manual relay or is it automatic? So if you set up a system and it
all right, I'm going to show you this.
Accepts and forwards.
Yes. So this is obnoxiously funny. So I needed a box, and so I literally took a box.
Cardboard box.
Cardboard box. You can
fill podcast listeners. Devo has a cardboard box with an antenna sticking out of it.
So I'm going to just pull it out here. So essentially, what it is when you get here. Let me show you the other one here. All right, here, this one's actually lit up. So what I've done is when you get this thing, I'm going to plug it. It's just this. Whoops, there we go. So it looks like just like the old fashioned, dip, CPUs, right?
Yeah.
And it's got a little screen on it, lights up, and you plug it into a USB, plug it in your computer, and you can go literally to a website, flashes it, walk through a few steps, and a few minutes later, it's on. It's talking. Anybody nearby, it'll start showing up in your list and such.
So
Um,
can you have any old PCB, any old programmable chipboard?
no, there's some specific kinds. This one's called the ESP32. It's been pretty popular with hobbyists for controlling and stuff. It happens to
Hmm.
also have that radio built into it also.
Okay.
Um, and the entry point, like 25 bucks.
Okay.
So you can see that's like a really, from a cost standpoint, a very a nice feature of it. So I have like I really got into because I was kind of into ham radio as a kid. Always been a radio person. Matter of fact, I really kind of in my professional life we haven't talked to. I think we've talked some, but radio. I really was deep in radio as far as deploying networks and so forth. So that was a big thing for me for many years. Still is in my job.
Yeah.
And
To this day, whenever I think of ham radio, I always think of the movie Frequency. Such a good
yeah,
movie.
it is a good
Anyway.
movie. So I'm like soldering stuff. I mean, I take it maybe to a farther level than a lot of people do. A lot of people just buy it, some 3D print it, put it on, walk around.
Okay.
And the nice thing is you see it's really small. So there's not a keyboard. So a lot of this is all Bluetooth. And then you have an app on your phone. Now people say, well, you have to
Okay.
have a phone. Well, yes.
You have to have something to program it
There are some people
or
out there that
configure it.
have actual keypads, like, looks like a old BlackBerry,
Okay.
seriously. I mean, yeah. But, it's myself. So, like, for example, about from my house to my work is about, like 15 kilometers, so it'd be like about 10 miles-ish, roughly, maybe a little bit more. And I can I happen to live at a really high point in my area. And so I can actually hit the downtown several miles
Oh,
away. It's got some serious range
I was
depending
gonna
on where you
say, I was
are.
wondering what the range on these are.
Yeah, I
So
mean, you can be pretty substantial depending on your antenna and your location and height
yeah.
and what's between you. But, it's, at a frequency called, so we're all familiar with 2.4, gigahertz and
Yeah.
5. This is at 900 megahertz, so it's microwave, and it's what's I used to work with it a long time ago with other technologies. It's really pretty popular, and it's called near line of sight. So you can kind of it gets a little further than regular
Yeah.
radio waves.
So is this an unregulated frequency then?
Yeah, there's a bunch. Well, 2.4. The ones we use for our Wi-Fi are what's called a ISL, so industrial scientific. No, it's a ISM, sorry, industrial scientific medical, and these are bands in the United States. Now, if you go to like Europe, I think it's 800 and something. It's a little different, but same technology,
Yeah.
and it's really big. There's a group here, went, drove in, had breakfast with them all, and you're all figuring out how to, make it more robust and such. So it's not, just simply a bunch of people just sitting around, um, you know, like the old no, it's not ham radio, the old CB days, just yakking. It's sort of there's a challenge to it, right? Making things happen that nobody else is doing. And I think that's kind of where it comes from. I mean, it's like the challenge is us, right? We go into Dragon Con and we're like, okay, how do we make this room work? And then we see the result and it's like, oh, this is exciting. I love this. We put things together and we make things happen. I think it's kind of the same kind of challenge. But yeah, it's just got a low entry point and it's just kind of something fun to do, kind of wrap your head around. So
Okay.
yeah, I might have to send you one, Joe. And you go,
So what do Meshtastic people call themselves? Because if you don't have a name for it, I've got a thought.
you know, I don't know. I've never. Come on, Joe, lay it
I
on me.
I
I gotta know.
I would like to pitch mesh enthusiasts.
Ooh, oh, nice, mesh enthusiasts. I think that's a good one. It's not too cheesy either.
Yeah, just a combination of Meshtastic and enthusiasts. Mesh enthusiasts.
Meshthusiast. I like that. Meshthusiast. I'm going to keep that one in mind. I'm going to pass along to some of the guys and go, hey.
You know, that might make for a good podcast name.
Funny you should say that there, Joe. Yeah, I think that's might be something in the future here. So anyway, I kind of enjoy it. You know, I mean, I've got boxes that are to turn into something. I've got this the big dog.
That's a big antenna.
Yeah, this isn't even the biggest one. I just bought one and I thought it was like
that's like the size of your forearm.
Yeah, it's almost not quite 2 foot.
It's a cubit.
Yes, it is. I bought one. It's something like it's almost something like about 1.5 meters long. It's a really big one for high gain. So, and it's got a good deal on it. Like, hey, put it in my house. So it's like anything. It's kind of a what you got to be a little careful because you can get really good deals, and you know how good deals are. They kind of add up.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to manage myself, but there's a lot of guys out there doing this, and like I said, I really just kind of enjoying the challenge of it, just kind of seeing what can happen because there's so many variables in it, and it's kind of a fun thing to do. Really popular though in Europe too. So
okay.
Yeah.
Random kid. Did Joe just say cubit? What's a cubit?
He did.
Cubit is it's a biblical term.
Yeah.
It's used to measure out the ark. The ark was what, 300 cubits, I think.
So 300 antennas.
Yeah, a cubit, if I remember correctly, is roughly the measurement from your elbow to your wrist, or to the tip of your finger, something like that.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's pretty close. I'm gonna throw that out. Nice, man. Good info, Joe.
So
thanks for having me on. Getting all kinds of stuff from you there.
My family was actually talking about qubits about a week and a half ago, because on our Facebook feed came up in the memories. We had gone to, in Kentucky, they have a place called the Ark Encounter, where they've made a replica of what their vision of what Noah's Ark would have looked like. And so we were talking to the boys because they're like, "Oh, how big is that?" And I was like, "All right, well, let's look it up. I know it's in cubits." And then we looked up what the conversion rate was, and we were talking to our boys about it and whatnot. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. I remember when we got done with it, we were like, that was good to experience once.
Yeah, I've met some people that really loved it, and other people are the same way. Like, it's a good one-time experience.
It would be better if they incorporated a zoo with it and had some actual animals,
right?
So, because they had I think they had one llama in it, and that was like it. But it would.
How about some goats?
Noah's
Come on.
Ark and animals,
right?
A zoo. But yeah.
Hey, goats are the best, man. Any petting zoo should have a goat just because you can feed them anything. They're friendly. You never know what's going to happen.
That's right. Oh, give the kids helmets and let them headbutt the goat.
Oh my gosh.
Something.
Oh yeah. One of the Dragon Con, I've given her name is, she's a podcaster and she's with the Tech Daily. She's at university at Alabama, and our good friend, one of our good friends in one of the Discord said, "Hey, she's over here," and I'm like, "What?" Counting goats butting each other's heads, because she's doing research on head trauma. So I thought that was really funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with going back to our original topic of Meshtastic here.
Anyway, sorry.
And
Goats.
talking about DragonCon, I
Yeah.
wonder if there will be any panels about Meshtastic at
I
DragonCon,
don't
because
know.
there is a wide variety of topics discussed at DragonCon. There is a science track.
There is.
Maybe
Maybe.
someone will talk about Meshtastic
I
at
guess we'll have
DragonCon.
to see.
Do you think it's become widespread enough that it would get picked up or not? Or do you think it's
It's
too
oh
niche
yeah,
still?
it's really big. It's so much so that it's kind of funny. I mean, like I said, 900 megahertz technology has been around a long time. They use it for locks and keys, you know, like remote security systems, usually because it can go through walls pretty well. And suddenly, the antennas and parts that I remember, like, yeah, you know, you just go out there, they're out. People are just I'm at the point where I'm thinking I'm gonna start building my own sector antennas and stuff, which sounds like a good time to me. I don't know, that's just me. But I mean, really, seriously, it's kind of getting pretty popular. I don't know. I see just a lot of movement in it right now, and I think I don't know if it's, you know, it's like anything, right? It may burn out, but um, just I think it's just the low bar of entry, and so
Yep.
much you can do with it is what makes it really nice. And on top of it, you know, you have one of these, you know, you have all this stuff. I can go like, for example, this thing came, and I added on, you know, it's like, okay, you get it, and like, okay, I soldered on a GPS unit. Maybe I want a display. Maybe I want some lights. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff because this is actually a controller. You can tie things into pins and tie and control things. So that's, I think, part of the reason it's so popular is it's very flexible and very hobby friendly oriented.
Yeah. When I hear about projects like this, it really makes me wish that Radio Shack was still a thing.
Yeah.
So they had such a wonderful collection
Oh yeah.
for hobbyist projects like this. So,
Oh yeah. I still have my Radio Shack soldering iron. Matter of fact, that's how I soldered that together. So it's so old. The jacket cracked off of it, and now it's just wires twisted. But it's still safe. But it's kind of funny.
Yep.